My name's Dina. I live in the Bay Area in California, and I'm a diversity specialist, perform statistical research to help achieve DEI goals.
Amazing, amazing. And fun fact, Dina and I worked together at Meta in a previous life, and I'm a big fan of her. And we're so glad to have worked with you in this journey to land your new role. So to kind of set the stage for folks that might be watching this, can you talk to us about where you were in your job search before coming inside Career Amp? So like kind of what had been happening and where'd you find yourself?
Right. Okay. Um, when I joined Career Amp, I had just left my job of 8 years at Meta after some major restructuring and layoffs. Um, and there were so many aspects of my job that I really enjoyed and I wanted to continue doing, but I was also open and curious to do something completely different. I had learned so much in my previous role and I was like, I could do a lot of different things. And I just had no idea where to start and where to focus my search. And so I reached out to you, AJ, and was like, you're an HR expert and I'm in HR and I want to learn like, where should I focus my job search and like how to be the most efficient? Like, where is my next career move?
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally. And I remember our very first conversation fondly over just finding that direction and getting you to a place where you felt confident. I don't want to put words in your mouth, so feel free to correct me, but feeling confident about kind of what that next step was. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like, I think I had lost a little bit of my confidence as um, right after I left Facebook. I just wasn't sure, like, is this the job that I want to continue doing? There's lots of parts of it that I love, but I wasn't really sure if there was something else. And because I hadn't experienced that something else, I wasn't sure if I was ready for that something different.
Yeah.
And so I really needed that confidence boost.
Yeah, for sure. I loved being there for you with that. Actually, our whole team did. And everybody else says hi, Rachel and Steph and Shakara. I'll say hello. I told them that you were talking today. So the other question that I have is, there's lots of different career coaching programs out there. I'm curious about what made you pull the trigger to work with us versus some of the other programs out there.
Honestly, I didn't look at anybody else. I had seen, I mean, I obviously worked with you in the past and I kind of trusted you. I also knew that I wanted to work with people who are very familiar in the space that I've been in. And so that was really helpful, but little did I know that the rest of your team comes from such various backgrounds and the community itself is so diverse. And so I feel like I got to leverage experience from a whole lot of different people. And that was incredibly valuable.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Okay, so you came inside of Career Amp, you joined. What was maybe like a first win or like aha moment where you're like, oh, I didn't realize this, or this was really valuable? That kind of like first initial reaction. I'm curious what that
I
was.
think the first win was sidedooring, learning how to network. I was really uncomfortable with the entire process of reaching out to people like cold on LinkedIn, not knowing them. If it didn't happen organically, I didn't really feel comfortable talking about work and reaching out to people. And so like trusting the process and learning from the videos and from other people who've gone through the process was incredibly valuable. Once I got comfortable with it, like I couldn't stop doing it. So like even now, after I've landed a job, I'm still scheduling power chats.
Amazing.
I think it's a skill that everybody needs to have. And I just keep telling everybody that I know that isn't part of Career Amp. I'm like, have you tried this? You should do this. Yeah. And it was something that I mean, obviously you knew that like I had to get like a kick in the pants to start doing it.
100%. And that like initial inertia to get going is the hardest part. And so I'm glad that you called that out because it really is. It's a new way of doing something. The way that we've designed it and templated it and even automated it to some points. And it takes getting to that point where you feel really comfortable to like rip off that Band-Aid, but you have to rip off the Band-Aid. And that's that's the important piece. Good. Awesome. Okay. So what would you say was your biggest wins? Now that you've graduated, you have this new gig, which I'm so excited about, and congratulations again. But what would you say was the biggest win as part of the program?
I mean, obviously like landing a job, but I think the biggest win was really refining my personal narrative, really understanding what my goals are in the job search and like what I wanted to do next and being able to pursue that. Like I remember we had a conversation and you had me stack rank
a
bunch
good
of
options.
things. And like as I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to sign the offer for this, and I'm like, well, it checked all the boxes. Like this is exactly what I wanted. Stop doubting yourself and take it.
Yes. Yeah, I love that you call that out because the good options rubric is like, it's one of, I think, the most quintessential parts. But sometimes in the beginning, when you're going through it, you're like, oh, I don't know how this is going to come into play, or like, it's useful, but like, oh. And then when you get an offer and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this tool that I built with somebody and I'm able to actually see what was important to me when I started this whole thing. And it serves as a really great anchor point to make decisions so that you don't do the self-sabotaging spiral in your head around, is this a good offer? Is this what I wanted? Is this really it?
Right. Like, and the market is just so competitive and incredibly difficult right now. And so I could see myself sort of spiraling, being like, well, I could take this job. I should apply here. Like like, I have the skill sets to do this. And so really being able to say like, no, these are my standards and I understand what I'm capable of. And I've gotten that help to refine how I talk about myself, how I market myself. from the team. And I think that was really helpful.
Yep. Awesome. That's so great to hear. Okay. The last question here, Dina, is if you were talking to somebody or somebody's watching this and they're on the fence on whether or not they want to join Career Amp, what would you tell them?
The job search is incredibly difficult and incredibly isolating. So why not have a community of people who are there to help support you throughout that journey? I found the community incredibly helpful. And it wasn't just like the coaches who are amazing, but the people that I got to meet through Career Amp, I made a lot of meaningful connections. They've introduced me to people. We were able to celebrate each other's wins. We were able to like, vent about the experience when things didn't go our way during interviews. And so like, why not join a community that helps support you? And like, why not outsource the parts of the job search that you may not have a comparative advantage in, so that you can like focus on the things that are going to make you more efficient and more prepared as you go into those interviews.
I love that. Well, congratulations, Dina. Again, so thrilled for you. I know your first day is coming up here soon, so I wish you all the best. And thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to miss you guys.
I know, I miss you too.